back to Blues Fans TV. I am Sophie Rose. I wish I was doing a happier video today. I normally like doing my 5 reasons why, partly because we can critique certain areas of the field and hope they're improved for the next game. That seems not to be the case, even though we've spent nearly 200 million in the transfer market. Yeah, what a disappointment going out of the Carabao Cup. I can't remember the last time we exited the Carabao Cup this early. We normally give it a really good go. Yes, okay, having Spurs early on is a tough draw, not just because they are sort of top half of the table, just because, you know, it's a London derby, it's a huge game and obviously means a lot to us fans, and it hits especially hard when we lose against them, especially the way we did. I'm going to go through the 5 reasons why I believe we lost yesterday. You know, such a promising start after, you know, Werner's goal, which I thought was a fantastic goal. You know, finally somebody's eager to take a shot, use his own initiative, sort of skin the ball past the defenders and sort of into the bottom hand corner there. So I don't really think the goalkeeper had a chance. I don't think he could see it with all the players in front of him. But yeah, I thought it was a fantastic goal, and I thought, yeah, great to get a goal in the first half and get the ball rolling, and we sort of seemed to be controlling the game for the first 45 minutes, and then it all sort of took a turn for the worst. For me, there's one part in particular where it went wrong. But you know, we'll get into that in a minute. You know, I don't know if you can tell, my tone is not that great today. I'm normally a bit more upbeat, even if we have lost. I tend to look at things as, yeah, it's disappointing, but you know, bear in mind we've made so many signings over the past few months. I thought it was, you know, going to be a lot more of a better start for us in all competitions, and for me, I've been a little bit disappointed in the way we've been playing. I don't want to blame Frank too much. I'll get into that in a minute. We will also get into the whole Alonso situation. But yeah, you know, okay, let's go through the 5 reasons why we lost against Spurs yesterday. Oh, I hate this video. And I don't know where else to start other than our left back situation. We signed Ben Chilwell. Unfortunately, he has been injured. I think he played very well when he was on the pitch. I think Frank took him off around the 66th minute. Purely as a precaution, but for me, I don't think he should have done that. Now, had this been a game where we were winning 2-0, where it wasn't a knockout stage, I could possibly understand it. Whether or not it's his first proper full game or not, I don't really care in this situation, because this trophy actually means a lot to me. I don't know if it does to you guys. People see it as, you know, more of a smaller trophy. Yes, it isn't the Champions League, but I don't care. It's still a piece of silverware, and we've tended to done very well in the cup over the years. So I'm not sure that's a substitution that I would have made, regardless of how fit he is. Yes, we don't want him to get further injuries in the Premier League, but I do think he could have seen out the last sort of 20-30 minutes. Emerson comes on. If you look at the goal that Lamela scored, Emerson has left his man unmarked. He doesn't get back in time. Even when he does try to defend, it's a complete mess. A lot of what we saw from him last season. Some fans weren't particularly annoyed with Emerson, but they just didn't think that he was up to the standard that you would need to challenge for the title in the Premier League, especially when you're playing for Chelsea. I think we saw that all over. You know, it's quite easy, I think, in my mind. You know, if you're a defender that hasn't played well for the last sort of 6 to 12 months, you're going to go back and look at your performance. Man marking is quite easy for me. I think you should just stay on your player, make sure you've got that left-hand side covered, and he doesn't get back in time, and he's left wide open to score the goal. So absolutely furious at that. It's such a shame to let it go so late in the game. We could have been, you know, going through and talking about the next stage. We're not. I can't say that I'm surprised. I didn't have high hopes for yesterday. My friend in America always asked me if he thinks we're going to win, and I said, listen, please don't bet on this game, because I just really don't know. And yeah, massive shame. And I think the minute we took off Ben, that was a major blow for us. I'm not to say that all the other players were performing to the highest standard. And there were lots of things that we were doing wrong, and I'll get into that in a minute, but I do think taking Ben off was probably the wrong decision from Frank. You might disagree with me on that. You might think, yeah, we had injuries, and we don't want him to, you know, he's our only probably decent left back, and, you know, we don't want to make his injury worse or, you know, rush him back too soon. But, you know, the latter of that is that we are now out of the competition in September. So you go and look at it both ways there. But yeah, massive blow for me there, and I knew the minute that happened, I was just slightly worried, because I don't really trust Emerson in that position, just like we don't trust Alonso. let's look at the Alonso situation. I did want to mention it today, although it's not obviously relevant to the Tottenham game. Some newspaper reports show there was a big bust up. Apparently Alonso, I think, went either back onto the coach or he did something to really annoy Frank Lampard after the game. Obviously he was at fault for one of the goals against West Brom, and apparently there was a big bust up. He wasn't on the bench yesterday. I'm assuming that things went a little bit sour there. But Frank has every right to be angry. I don't know why the players are getting their back up so much when they're putting in performances like this. You know, the defence has been an absolute mess. Alonso has had some good games for Chelsea. He's scored some great goals. Some of my favourite Alonso moments at Leicester. But, you know, nevertheless, his performance hasn't been up to scratch. It hasn't been consistent. So no wonder Frank is getting annoyed, because I can't imagine that he is in that dressing room, he's in that changing room or on the training ground Monday to Friday telling them to defend like that. I know he isn't. So Frank had every right to be angry, and for me he's not one of those managers that screams and shouts on the side of the pitch. But I would completely side with Frank here. The fact that his performance wasn't good enough. He's not following rules. You know, we've got all this COVID going on. I think it was probably just a mixture of everything that sort of got two on top of him, and that was that. I don't think it's going to be Alonso's last game for Chelsea, but will he fall out of favour if he has a bad attitude? Then yes. I think your manager's your manager. I think Frank is probably a lot nicer than a lot of the other managers out there, and I think their performances haven't really been up to scratch. I think they've really let Frank down, if I'm being honest, and yeah, that's all I can say on that one. So comment below what you think on the Alonso situation, but I know a lot of you aren't too big of fans of him, so I can imagine the comments that are coming below. Anyway, yeah, left back situation again and again, letting us down. In at number 2 then is the lack of leadership in the team. I'm talking to my mate about this. We sit in the shed up together. Just no leader in the team. I think, you know, even in our darkest days, for instance, when we were still able to win trophies, not even having, you know, a fully fit, amazing first team, but we had the likes of John Terry there. We had the likes of Frank Lampard in the side. I know Frank's the manager, but it's very different. I think you need that leadership on the pitch as well. You need a player that is going to organise you. Whoever, regardless of whoever is wearing the captain's armband, can we really say that player, whether it's Kante, whether it's Dave, whoever, can we really say they're being a leader? They're not. I don't know whether that's because they don't understand what it means to play for Chelsea Football Club. I think football has changed over the years. I think players are a lot more egotistical, and that is very hard. Not only for managers, but for us fans to watch, because it means they're not going to be giving those sorts of performances that we used to see. Even when Ashley Cole was in the side, fair enough, he wasn't captain, but I can't think of a solid leader. Kante is a fantastic player, but I don't think his job is to be the leader as such, and I don't think he can do it all on his own. Where we're going to get that person from, I don't know. I think he'll have to be homegrown. I think we're going to have to stick with at least one of the young English youngsters for many years to get that sort of going. Yeah, just disappointing. You can't, I mean, if I'm wrong, please comment below and let me know, but I can't put my foot on it. I can't figure out one person that in that squad that I would consider to be a John Terry, an Ashley Cole, a Frank Lampard, a Didier Drogba even at a stretch. You know, I can't name that person, and I think that is going to cost us points, and it's going to cost us trophies, and we're going to be knocked out of competitions left, right and centre unless we get those, you know, 1 or 2 players in. In at number 3 then, and I'm going to go with our, what am I talking about? I'm going to go with the fact that we are unable to kill off games early. Now, normally when you go 1-0 up, it's a good cushion. When it's a knockout stage, I think it's a bit different. We had many chances. We had even a chance in the second half. You know, Callum Hudson-Odoi for one, more or less, not one-on-one with the keeper, but, you know, inside the box, shoots it straight over the bar. That for me should be a goal. I think that's something that he really needs to work on in training, his finishing, because, okay, fine, you probably get a little bit nervous when all eyes are on you, but let's face it, the fans aren't in the stadium at the moment. I know it's broadcast on television, but I don't really think that's the same thing. I think you've sort of got a little bit of pressure off you when the fans aren't there. Away from home, especially at Spurs, it's a very hard stadium to be at. Maybe that would sort of egg him on, I don't know, but in my eyes it should have take the pressure off a little bit, and you should be scoring that goal all day long, not firing it practically out of the stadium. So many chances we had, threw them away. Our second half performance was just piss poor. I don't really know why that was, because we sort of bossed the first half, in my opinion. It was a really solid first half from us. But teams are just able to get back into the game. Whether we're conceding 3 goals in the first 28 minutes, or we're conceding a goal in the very last 3 or 4 minutes. We can't finish games off, and that's, to me, is surprising, because we spent so much money this season. You know, Werner, I think, is going to be a fantastic striker from us. He proved that with a little glimmer of light yesterday at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but it's just 1 goal isn't enough. We need 2 or 3 at least, especially against Spurs. Mourinho, I think, did a very good job egging his players on yesterday. I think that he told them to keep pushing. They did, and we didn't display any of the same sort of thing. So yeah, just completely gutting, really. In at number 4 then is, I don't think this group of players entirely understand how important these games against Spurs are. We had our first win at their new stadium under Frank last season, and that was a fantastic memory. But our performances against them over the years haven't been great. If you look at, yes, they're going to make a DVD out of a 3-3 draw, or I don't know, whatever. We don't like them to do that, because, you know, they're not winning a trophy. They're simply just, you know, drawing against us or winning a couple goals to nil. But yeah, I don't think this group of players really understand the London derby. Okay, fine, it's not a Premiership match. But I think all day long we should be winning that game 3-0. You know, the last time I can really remember passion in a Tottenham game properly would be the 4-2 at White Hart Lane a few years ago. I'm not really sure what year it is, when Gary Cahill scored a volley, and we got back into that game. Would we get into that sort of game now and come back from 2-1 to score another 3 goals? I don't think so. I don't see this group of players achieving that at the moment. I don't think it's Frank's fault as of yet. I'm not saying I won't criticise Frank. You know, he's not immune to criticism just because he's a Chelsea legend. If I feel like I have to critique him, I will do. But I think at the moment, I think Frank's probably teaching them everything, training. They're not displaying it on the pitch. So yeah, I don't think they really understand what this London derby is, and it just shows everywhere on the pitch. In at number 5 then, and my last point is, I really still don't think we have a plan B. Which is shocking, really, considering the amount of money we spent. Yes, we have the likes of Kai Havertz on the bench. I'm not going to be too critical of Mendy, because obviously it was his first game in a Chelsea shirt, and sort of thrown in at deep end. We never really do very well on penalties. That's probably something that we really need to work on. And, okay, fine, I will critique him there. They were all going in the bottom right hand side of the bottom right hand corner, or if you're looking at it from our perspective, the bottom left. And he probably should have read that a little bit better before Kane switched it up. But I'm not going to critique him too much. We just don't have a plan B. Ben Chilwell goes off, who is our replacement left back that can really do a good job. Yes, you don't want to tamper with the defence too much at all, in my opinion. But for Carabao Cups, for FA Cups, you're going to rotate your squad a little bit so that your squad doesn't get too tired. And I didn't feel like we could even do that with Ben. Regardless of his injury. If that was any other player, normally I'd be saying, no, that's really good, he's done his job, take him off early to prevent further injuries. But for me, I didn't want to do that yesterday. We can't rely on Emerson. Alonso is obviously in a right pickle now, not just with his performance, but his relationship with the coaches, with the first team manager. Do we have a reliable up front? Okay, fine, we've got a few options there, Tammy, Werner. But still, I don't really feel like we've got that solid choice, you know, plan B. I think if you look at Liverpool, they definitely have that. I think City are struggling this season. But, you know, listen, we allowed Tottenham to get back into the game all over the shop last, you know, due to a very poor second half. And again, some terrible defending. So the only good point I will, but Zuma did 1 tackle. I think it was in the first half, which the referee did really well not to rule as a penalty. Fantastic defending for him. That's the second time he's done that now in the last 8 months, I'll say. So I was impressed with Zuma for that. But yeah, we have got to sort out our defence. We've got to find out what our, you know, main back four is, and it's always hard in a knockout competition. But we're out of the cup. What can I say? It's just disappointing all round. Okay, so there you have it, guys. Those are the 5 reasons why I believe we lost to Spurs yesterday. Please comment below. I'm sure there's a few things that I've missed out. I am a little bit disheartened. I haven't really wanted to watch the highlights back, if I'm being honest. I was in bed yesterday watching the game, and it's just a bit too painful. I don't really like to rewatch the Spurs game, which for a presenter I probably should have done. You know, that would have been the more professional thing to do. But as a fan, I was a little bit heartbroken yesterday, and I didn't really wish to relive that this morning. So comment below, let me know your thoughts. What did you think of Mendy's first game? Do you blame him for the goal, or do you, like me, blame Emerson? Poor defence again. And if you love this video, please, well, you won't love this video, but if you like the sort of content I'm providing, please click the subscribe button, and I will see you all soon. Hopefully we're talking about a win soon, because I just, you know, I'm losing hope, guys, for this season, and it's a shame because we've really invested money and had one of the best transfer windows we've had in a long time. So anyway, yeah, comment below, guys, and hopefully I'll be giving you a bit of better news next time. Go on, you Blues.